Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 2 of Eat With, the podcast. My guest today is someone with a million stories to tell. Krish Dutt is the executive chef of 2 brand spanking new restaurants to South Australia. Tunki is down on the waterfront at West Lakes and serving up a cuisine that we have never seen before here in South Australia, which we'll dive into further in our chat. His other spot is Mimoda, which is on the outskirts of the city at the Maid Hotel. This is Asian-inspired fusion that screams fun. You can even do a full soju tasting, which is all infused in-house and matches the excellent dishes that Krish and his team have put together there. These venues are an expression of his incredible experiences across the world. He has worked in some of the finest kitchens, and he was the personal chef for actual royalty. We headed into Rundle Street to meet for the very first time. So let's do it. All right, here we go.
Let's go. No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. So, Krish, welcome to Eat With, the podcast.
Thank you.
Where are we and why are we here?
Paper Tiger. This is one of my favorite restaurants in Adelaide, I think. I just love the food that the head chef, Ben Liu, puts over here. He puts all the food that he wants from his heart. I've worked with the guy before as well. He was my old junior sous chef at Madame Hanoi.
Yeah,
I used to work at the casino. So, yeah, I love the way he cooks, and a lot of Malaysian Chinese flavors that he's grown up eating, and so it's very, very authentic, I guess.
Yeah.
That's the reason I chose this place.
Perfect. Do you get to eat how much? I mean, realistically, you're working a lot at the moment. You're not a quiet guy. You've got a busy life. Do you get to get out to restaurants very often?
No, not too much at all, to be honest. I normally go out maybe once or twice a month.
Yeah.
Most of the time, because we spend all our time in the kitchen, we hardly want to go to a restaurant or anywhere else. If we do want to eat out, we just Uber eat. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. That's our lifestyle. That's what it is.
Well, I mean, living a busy, loud lifestyle, I think sometimes you just need some damn quiet. Sitting at home in peace and quiet with still some good food. So, I know a little bit of your chefing history. So, but before Madame Hanoi, how did you get to Madame Hanoi?
So, I'll start from Fiji. I was born and grew up in Fiji, and always knew I wanted to cook.
Okay.
Since I was probably in year 4, I always wanted to cook. I was always the one cooking at home, always volunteering my parents that, hey, I want to cook dinner tonight. I want to do this tonight. I want to do breakfast. Yeah. I started off just cooking on Sundays only. So Sunday used to be like a family day for us, and I'll cook. And at first, all I was doing was just making boiled stuff. Yeah. I was cooking boiled fish with cassava, let's say, boiled lamb, let's say. Everything was boiled. Yeah. My family loved it for a while till they got really bored. I think you should learn something else. Some
other techniques, perhaps. Yeah.
And then my mum went and bought me a cookbook. I don't remember the name of that cookbook now, but it was just a normal cookbook. Then we started watching the program, old program, Young Can Cook. I don't know if you know this program, but it was his main line was, if young can cook, so can you. He was an old Chinese guy. He was on the TV show all the time. So I started learning recipes from him first. So that's how I always got into more Asian flavors and stuff. Yeah. And then from there, luckily my family supported me with what I wanted to do, and moved from my hometown, Lautoka, which is in the west of Fiji, to the main city, and studied over there at University of Fiji to become a chef. And then, did 3 years with them. And then one of the good things about that school was they used to send us 6 months as practical. The other 6 months, they will choose a resort for you, a hotel for you, and you go and work. So they can choose wherever they want. Yeah. The first year, they sent me to Outer Island, which was in Taveuni, which is a garden island of Fiji. Okay. So beautiful seafood, massive abundance of marine life over there. Yeah. Pretty much untouched, like no one goes out there. It's in the middle of nowhere.
Sounds amazing.
Only the tourists go there. Probably, I think, only 500 people on the whole island. Right. And it's a big island as well. It took about an hour to go all the way.
Right, okay,
And then that was my first professional job as a chef. I started off as a trainee chef first. Worked my way up through there, and then after I finished my graduation, I got a job offer to go to Cook Islands in Rarotonga. So they used to poach staff, like fresh school students that are straight out of the school.
Yeah.
To take us overseas, and if we wanted to be chefs. So I managed to find myself in a group of chefs. There was, I think, 40 of us.
Oh, okay. So not
out
a
of the
small
whole
amount.
school.
Yeah.
And then they put us all in the plane and then took us over to Rarotonga in the Cook Islands.
Cool. Have you ever been before?
Never been before. So that was something new. We signed the contract straight away. It was a 2-year contract. They pay for all accommodations and everything was provided for, and then they take you over. And then the next day you start working pretty much.
Yeah, okay.
That's it. And we're all
no
out
rest for the wicked.
we were all out of culinary school, straight out, all fresh.
Yeah.
Like, everyone loved it.
So was it people that you were in school with, so they were like friends?
So that was, and we all studied together for the last 3 years as well. So most of us knew each other. Most of us knew each other. And we were still close friends to date. Like we check on each other. We've got a massive Facebook group.
Are they all over the world? Are they
They're
the same
all over
place?
the world as
Yeah.
well now. Most of them are in New Zealand, couple in Canada. Some of them decided to go back to Fiji. There's some there all over Australia at the moment as well now.
Fantastic. So when did Australia happen for you?
So from Cook Islands, I moved to New Zealand first.
Okay.
And then I was lucky enough this was during the Rugby World Cup, so in 2011.
Okay.
So New Zealand had a big shortage for chefs because I think everyone was in Auckland. Everyone from all over the world, there are big World Cup fans. They were all over. All hotels, everyone was looking for chefs.
Yeah, okay.
So I was lucky enough to get a 3-month working visa approved to go and work as a chef in Auckland. And I applied for a job in Sky City Casinos and got it straight away as a demi chef. Started off in the Grand Hotel within the casino and just worked really, really hard to make sure that they decide to keep me.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough that they saw something in me and they decided that they wanted to keep me on, and then they managed to extend my contract, and then I stayed in the casino for about another 5 years.
Yeah.
Another 4 years in Auckland.
Yeah.
And one of the best part about working with Sky City was there was so many multiple restaurants. They had about 24 different restaurants, so you can choose where you want to go if you want to change. And then during that 4 years, I managed to find myself working under one of the exec chefs, Darren Johnson, and Chef Nick Watt, who is one of the celebrity chefs who opened Masu by Nick Watt in New Zealand, which won Best Japanese Restaurant and Best New Restaurant within the first 6 months of opening. So I was lucky enough to be part of that core team.
Adventure.
And then we started from scratch. So again, there was nothing. It was a rough space for us. Moved everything in.
Yeah.
And then became part of that team, and I worked there for 2 years. Worked my way up from demi, chef de partie, juniors to sous chef.
Yeah.
And then when Chef Nick was opening Madame Hanoi in the casino, then he approached me as well and was like, "Hey, what do you think of this? We've got this brand new restaurant opening." He offered me as just go and help out and open a restaurant up for him.
Yeah.
I volunteered as well straight away. Came over, fell in love with Adelaide straight away.
Yeah.
Called the missus and said, "Hey, you might want to fly in this weekend. Just come take a look. I think this is some place that we can actually live."
Yeah. So you were already married at that time?
Yes.
And you guys you met her in New Zealand?
No, in Cook Islands.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, so she's from the Cook Islands.
And she'd gone to New Zealand with you, though?
Yeah.
Oh, so she's followed you?
Yeah. No, I followed her. So she was, because Cook Islanders, they are New Zealand citizens. So when she was, when she grew up,
I did not know that. Okay, cool.
So she went to New Zealand. She had all her family in New Zealand and everything. So where she left Cook Islands because we both worked together as well.
So she's a chef as well?
She's a chef as
Brilliant.
well. So
okay.
We don't have time to go out of the kitchens, you know?
No, exactly. But at least, you understand the lifestyle. Like, that can be such a challenge for people that are in this industry. Is
exactly.
like, falling in love with someone who is not in it, just doesn't get it.
Exactly. And she's we still work together, so she still works with me. She's in Turkey right now.
Oh, right. Brilliant. Okay. Well, I look forward to meeting her at some stage.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I will. I'll make sure of that.
Yeah.
And then, so she came over one weekend and she fell in love with the place as well. She used to work for Sean's Kitchen in Auckland. So she was a chef at Sean's Kitchen.
Cool.
And then when she came over, Sean was around in Sean's Kitchen that day as well, and they were really busy. And then he pretty much offered her the job on the spot as well. Hey, can you come and work here? We need your help over here. So
Brilliant.
she decided to stay. She never went back.
That was such a golden time for Adelaide Casino. Like,
2015.
I think I was at the Madame Hanoi opening party because at that time I was doing food journalism. So, it was a wild time for the casino and just such an exciting time for the transformation of North Terrace. Like, I think we had gone stagnant for such a long time, and those places really changed the game there. And now it's like the central hub for so much stuff. And there's even more at the casino now.
So many things happening in there. It's an amazing place.
Okay, so we're in Adelaide. You're at Madame Hanoi. You're sous chef at this point of
No,
Madame
I'm
Hanoi?
head chef, so I came over as a head chef. Yeah.
Right. Okay. And how involved was Nick throughout that process? Because having somebody who is kind of the figurehead, the public face of these things, I never really understand how much involvement they get. Like, do they sit down with you and work through the menu? How often do you guys get together?
When we were at Madame Hanoi, he was very involved when we started off, obviously. So he moved here for about, I think, almost 3 months.
Yeah.
So he lived here with us as well. We all stayed in the same hotel. We all worked together every night from opening to closing. And back then we were doing breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Jesus.
So Madame Hanoi, we used to open at like 7 a.m. and we used to go all the way to lunch, finish dinner. Dinner used to finish late night, and then late night we used to turn it around and make it into a nice dance floor and everything as well.
Did you sleep for 3 years?
For the first 3 months, no, not too much. And then I got told off by the HR for working too much, so they told me to not dial it back, which was a good thing, and that was something new to me as well. Normally, no one cares how long everyone wants you to work.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's been a real change. I mean, that was a lot earlier, but I think there has been a real change in the industry about the well-being of chefs. Like, it used to be, you work as hard as physically possible, and I do not care if you haven't slept in 3 days.
Exactly.
As long as you cook this food and you show up on time, that's all we really care about.
The industry's changed, that's for sure, and it's for the better for the chefs as well, and for the owners as well. People got more time to put into more effort and more love into their dishes now. As well, because they are actually refreshed. They've got their time off.
And I genuinely think as a consumer you can taste that.
Yes.
Like, it makes a huge difference to your experience. Plus, if people are feeling that way when they're public facing, the customers can tell. Like, there's a tension in the air. You know, I think having people who are dedicated to their craft, but also get to love it because they've had the appropriate amount of rest and they've had the time to be creative and that sort of thing, I think makes a huge difference in the experience of the diner.
Yes, definitely. Agreed.
Yeah. Okay. Should we take a look at the menu?
Yeah, sure. So Ben told me he's changed the whole menu since I was here the last 2 weeks ago.
Right, so you're not going to be able to tell me what you recommend on the menu. What were you looking forward to?
I'm pretty sure he's kept some of the signatures. Let me see.
Perfect.
All right. I just saw him doing some kombu cured tuna sashimi.
Beautiful.
And it looked amazing. So I'm definitely going to have one of that. I did tell Ben just to feed us, do whatever he wants.
Okay, well, that is my favourite way of dining.
Maybe I'm going to just tell him, just whatever he wants to do. And it's his food at the end of the day. I think that's the best way to do. When you go to a restaurant, just go with the chef's feed me, because there's a reason they put it all together, and that's the way it's meant to be eaten, I think.
Okay, well, I like the sound of pretty much everything. Although I did meet someone, I was at an event last night, and she said that the pork belly bao are amazing, but I can't have those.
I'm pretty sure he'll be able to do a gluten-free version of it without the bao. Like, we'll make it into a shenshou bao.
Yeah, okay.
So the lettuce cup,
Okay. Well, I'm down for whatever. I am going to have to take a photo of this menu so that I can remember everything that's on there.
Done.
And he just gets the dregs.
Benny, we're just going to let you feed us, mate. Yeah? Yeah.
Okay.
How hungry are we, though?
As hungry as you want to be.
We'll just start slow, Just one.
Start slow?
Yeah, we'll go with your selection, whatever you suggest. Yeah, and gluten-free. That's it.
No,
Done.
Thank you.
I'll be gluten-free today as well.
I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
It
Don't need to be sorry.
Depend on where we go. We went to a Spanish restaurant, that new restaurant, Nina, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
On last Friday night. And I was with a group of people, and they're like, "Oh, well, all eat gluten-free." I was like, "No, you need the Spanish bread."
Yeah, Leo is a good friend of mine. I just met up with him. He came to Tsinky last Sunday.
Oh,
so Leo, the owner,
I haven't met him in person, but I have eaten his cheesecake before.
Basque,
With
Basque by Leo, he's
the
awesome.
COVID cheesecake king.
Yeah.
Adelaide went wild, so yeah. And as did I.
He's a very passionate guy, that guy.
Yeah, it was a really great restaurant, so I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I still haven't been there actually. He's invited me to come down here, so I'm excited to do that.
You've got to do it. Friday night is it was loud. Like it was, people were there. They were ready to party. They were there to have some wines. They were all for having a good time. If you want to have a chat with him, I would say go midweek. But I'm guessing you're not going to be available on a Friday night anyway.
Not at the moment. No, not in December at least.
No. Oh, what a wild month. It's been so busy. I just don't feel like we've got. I don't know when the stop happens, but I do love it.
I think mid-January everyone's gonna calm down a bit.
Yeah, everyone's going to need to give their livers a rest at least.
Yeah, exactly. I know I will.
Yeah. No, I'm already at that state. Anyway, we push on.
Exactly.
Okay, so you've been at Madame Hanoi for 3 years, and the king calls.
Oh, he didn't call personally himself, but his kitchen manager, who was my first boss at the Cook Islands.
Right.
So my old executive chef from the Cook Islands. So this is after 12 years later. Sorry, no, actually after 10 years later.
Yeah.
So he emailed me all of a sudden saying, "Hey Krish, what are you up to these days? I've been following you, but how's Australia treating you? If you want to change, let me know. I've got something for you." So I was like, okay.
Okay.
I just replied him back. I was like, "Oh, what's it about? Where are you?" Because he didn't put any signature. He didn't tell me where he worked or anything.
Yeah, okay.
It was all hush hush, and he's like, "Just let me know when you're ready to move." I was like, "Okay." I'm
sounds
happy.
So exciting, regardless of where you're going.
I was happy at Madame Hanoi at that time, so I told him, "No, I'm all good. No, I'm really happy with Australia. I'm just finding my feet now within Adelaide, so I'm very happy here. So thank you, but all good."
Yeah.
I didn't want to ask where he was.
Okay.
Then that happened in like about October or November. Then in January, I get a phone call again, and it was supposed to be His Majesty's birthday. So they were looking for someone to come and entertain and provide some kind of food.
Yeah.
So he called me up and threw me over for a trial shift.
Okay.
At the same time, while I go cook and entertain as well, so like Asian fusion flavors.
Yeah.
So what I did over there was I just did Madame Hanoi, what I was cooking at that time. So I did beautiful green pepper scotch. I remember I did the Korean salmon. I did some what else did I do? I did a lot of. This is a very old menu, so
Yeah.
what else I did. But I did whatever I knew at that time. I did present all those. And he just fell in love with the food, and then they offered me a job straight away on the spot. And again, that time I was happy at Madame Hanoi, so I just said, I'm not looking for a move right now, so thank you very much. But I'll stay here. But if anything changes in the future, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
So I came back to the casino. I worked there again for another year, and then the next year later, then I received another call from they're like, "Oh, hey, we're short staffed. Would you be able to just come and help us out for a while?" By that time, I was already in Australia for about 3 years.
Yeah.
And so I talked to them and said, like, "Hey, this could be something exciting." Now that we knew where we were going.
Yeah.
And they were like, "What do you reckon? Should we go try it out?" And plus, because the package was such a good package, it was all inclusive. They provide accommodation, car, all utilities are paid for. So we had nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
We know you just show up.
Yeah.
And you just go to work pretty
If you're
much.
transient, if you're the sort of people that are okay with being transient, there's so much opportunity in something like that. Like, why not?
Yeah.
If it goes wrong, if we hate it, so what? We'll come back.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. So we had nothing to lose at that point.
Yeah.
And we didn't have any dogs that time. So
Yeah.
so luckily. So we just packed our bags. We only had I think 2 suitcases each.
Yeah.
That's it. And we just sold everything else. We're like, we're going. We'll at least give it a year.
Yeah.
See what happens, and then we'll travel forward.
Yeah.
So went over, loved it. It was a lot of work, but we enjoyed it thoroughly. A lot of travels, a lot of. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a couple of entrees. So that's our coffee meat oyster, naan jim jam, salmon roe tuna cream, and it's a grilled beef pork with basil leaf, sticky pineapple and chili.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow.
That smells amazing.
It does,
doesn't
doesn't it? That smells incredible.
So this one here is one of my favorite ones.
Okay, so that's one of the older dishes.
One of the old ones,
Yeah.
Wrapped in
Brilliant.
beetroot, which is like a Vietnamese traditional one, I think. It's called bola lot.
I'm going to take a
Yeah,
picky
sure.
or two of those ones because don't want to forget.
That's all right. You just come back again and order the same thing.
That's true. And we will. There we go.
Awesome. So this one is the oyster with namjin, and then the beef is wrapped in betel leaf.
Ah, yes. Yeah.
Cheers again, and thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you so much. We genuinely appreciate it, and I love to hear your insight.
I am getting hungry. I didn't have breakfast today.
Probably for the best. Yeah, well, Krish has just introduced everything, so that was absolutely stunning. The Coffin Bay oysters.
Yep.
Is there any other option for oysters in South Australia at the moment? I feel like it is all Coffin Bay.
It's because they are the best, to be honest. I've tried different places. I've tried the Sydney Rocks as well. Even with Smoky Bay. Smoky Bay is pretty nice as well, but depends on different palate.
Yeah.
But I'm always drawn towards Coffin Bay as well. So all the venues that I run as well, we've only got Coffin Bay oysters in all of them.
Yes, they are absolutely delicious. That is a fantastic flavour combination. Like, you're still not getting that. I mean, I know a lot of people love the natural oysters, that kind of flavour. If you're trying to win people over, though, I think you need to add, particularly the Asian flavours work the best. I'm not a huge Kilpatrick fan. That's not my, it's not my go-to.
Yeah, no, me too. I love natural, but anything with Namjim, it's always amazing.
Yeah.
A little bit of heat.
Okay, and the betel leaf. So that's Vietnamese, a betel leaf?
Yeah, unless I'm mistaken. The origin I know is from Vietnam. So beef wrapped in betel leaf, which is called bola lot. And I'm not sure what he served it with. What's on top?
I was trying to spot that on there. But that might be an us special, I think.
Yeah. Oh, it's not in here. Ah, okay.
Oh, lucky us.
Oh, here we go. Grilled beef wrapped in betel leaf, smoked pineapple, spring onion oil, and lemongrass. Yum.
Beautiful.
Well, that's what it is. Smoked pineapple.
I love pineapple. Okay, so the king insists. After his persistence, you decide to move to Jordan.
So we just packed our bag.
Anything about Jordan?
Luckily, the last time I went, so I was there for about 10 days. And they organized a driver to take us around and show us Jordan as well. And Jordan's a beautiful country.
It's high on my list to go. I mean, currently, things are a little sticky in the area. But definitely somewhere that I want to explore.
Yeah, we definitely fell in love with it the first time we went there. It was just beautiful. The people are so super nice there. They don't even know who you are, but they are genuinely very, very nice.
Beautiful people. Beautiful place.
Beautiful place, beautiful people, and it was a no-brainer. With the package they gave us with everything inclusive. Whereas in Australia, you know how it is, rents are up, everything. Even back then, 2018, it was. Everything was on the way up. Gas prices were going up, everything. We were like, hey, and they gave us an electric car as well, and which was utilities all included. So it was just a no-brainer. We just decided to stay.
Were you inside? Now I know a little bit about King Abdullah II.
Yep.
But is there a palace? Were you inside a palace grounds?
Yes, so we lived inside the palace ground. So we were based in Amman, within the palace grounds pretty much. So the main residence was only about 500 meters from where my house was.
Wow, that's incredible. What was that like? Like, the public kind of surrounding the area, are they interested in the king and what he's up to, or was it celebrity almost? Is he viewed as kind of a celebrity?
Yes, he's loved by all.
Yeah.
Like wherever he goes, and he's such a down-to-earth guy. Like I used to interact with him almost every day.
Yeah.
I have to make sure his breakfast there, lunch there, dinner's there, and just so humble, so down-to-earth person.
Yeah.
And everyone outside, they loved it. They adored him,
He seems to have done a lot for the advancement of the country.
Oh, a lot,
You know, lots for women in the area and that sort of thing. I think it's pretty impressive in the space that he's in to be able to do that and to stay in power as well, because other people have not managed to do so. Did you feel involved in the politics of any of it in any way?
Nah,
you weren't exposed to it?
Nah, nothing at all. We normally, because our work kept us so busy, we normally just minded our own business. Just all we knew was home, kitchen, and if we had to travel somewhere, which we did a lot whenever they stayed visits and stuff.
Okay, so you went around with him?
Yeah, if he's traveling, then I have to travel with him, go
Thank you
places.
so much.
Yeah,
okay. Very cool. And I heard a little rumour that he decided that there was a dish that he had liked in Europe that you needed to learn. Can you tell us about that?
That was in DC actually. And it's a Jose Andres restaurant called Bar Mini. And they used to serve this beautiful olive dish, which was just looks exactly like olive. It's soaked in a little bit of olive oil.
Yeah.
But when you pop into your mouth, it just bursts of olive flavor.
Yeah.
So it was, he fell in love with that dish. And then, yeah, so one of my contract was that I could choose a place to go and stage in as well. So
Okay.
he sent me over there to go and stage to learn this one particular dish and come back.
That is incredible.
And for me, it was like a kid in a candy store pretty much. And because these guys are like, I was working with the chefs that they're all Michelin star trained chefs and stuff. And for someone out of Fiji, a small island, who's never been to a Michelin star restaurant or anything, it was just like, wow, I was blown away. The work ethics that the chefs over there have in that particular industry, like working for Michelin star restaurants, completely different. Even if the service starts at 6 p.m., everyone's at work at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
They start working at 6 a.m. and they go till like midnight. Even.
It's incredible the prep that goes into that sort of thing. That, I think, is the general diners, the thing that we don't really understand as general diners is like just how much goes into making one sauce or,
exactly.
you know, one starter. Like, it's not just that started happening 10 minutes ago when you ordered it. It has been maybe even days that it's been prepped for. So, yeah, the dedication in places like that is...
Oh, yeah, and I learned a lot from those chefs that were there. Like, amazing work ethics, and plus the way they follow recipes is to the grams, because they use so many different techniques and stuff. If you miss a certain powder by 2 grams or 1 gram, the whole product is destroyed pretty much.
Yeah, wow.
So you have to make sure that, pretty much. And so I went there for one dish, but I came back with the whole entire menu.
Yeah, I was going to say, how long did it take you to learn the one dish, and how much did you use the other time for?
It was a hard dish. So I started with them for 10 days.
Okay.
So 10 days is a big time over there.
Yeah.
Because it was like being in the kitchen from 7 in the morning till midnight every day, just trying to learn, trying to get techniques, but not everyone wants to share their techniques as well, obviously.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's another thing.
How did you even begin to organise staging? Like,
they do everything for us.
Okay.
So the workplace did all the organisation, all the flights, all accommodations, everything was all sorted for us.
I suppose, it's spreading their notoriety around the world, isn't it? So I suppose there is a benefit to that of them wanting people around the world.
And they welcomed us actually. Like, they welcomed us with open arms. And because when Chef Jose Andres was in Jordan, I think His Majesty looked after him and showed him around, and he was looked after as well. So he invited us. It was more for an invite. Like, tell your chefs to come over anytime they want.
Perfect. Okay.
So,
that would have been an incredible experience then, to have that on top of it. You know, there's less. This is mine and that's yours. And
especially working for Chef Jose Andres, he's built something that's amazing. So he's one of those head of UN as well now.
Wow.
So he does so much. I've been following him around on Twitter and Instagram now. And he's got a massive chain of restaurants that he's got all over America now as well. He's going to Spain. He's popping up on Netflix now as well with his own little shows and programs.
Fantastic.
Well.
I'll have to. I'm obsessed with sitting and watching all of the cooking shows.
So I was
Netflix.
lucky enough to have like one-on-one training with him as well.
Yeah.
Sambal chili rosé clam, coconut cream, lobster and red thyme, and Thai style tom yum sauce.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, they look incredible. But I hide that.
So Ben does a mixture of all cuisines pretty much. So because he's from Malaysia, and Malaysia is so rich in all these different cuisine.
It's such a melting pot of different
You can get
different
Indian,
places.
Thai, Laos, Cambodian flavors, everything all in one. And he's worked in a lot of Japanese restaurants as well. So he's got a lot of flavor for Japanese cuisine as well.
I love that about Australia. I mean, we love going to Europe. We spend a lot of time over there. And the one thing that I miss is like amazing Asian cuisine. We just have it so much better here.
Actually, that's what I missed as well when I was traveling Italy, Germany as well. Like, they've got amazing food, don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
But 4 days later, you want some spice, you want some kick to it.
Yeah, something with a little bit of, And also a vegetable. I feel like you get 10 days into a European trip and you're like, I love meat and cheese, but God, I'd love a vegetable. Okay. Yeah, and we're so blessed with seafood here as well. South Australia in particular.
Oh, amazing. And that's why we opened Sunki as well, just to kind of showcase a bit more.
Yeah, okay. So talk to me about Chunky and Chunky's cuisine, because I know that it's quite different to anything that we've experienced in Adelaide before.
Yes. I haven't. The only research I've done is on Google, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we are the only Japanese Peruvian fusion restaurant in Adelaide. So this takes me back to DC. I found out Inca cuisine, which is the Nikkei cuisine, when I was first traveling through DC, and when I met Jose Andres. So he's got a couple of restaurants that are similar flavors and similar style as well. And pretty much, again, it takes me back to Fiji again, because growing up in Fiji, surrounded with islands, fresh seafood, and being half Indian, half Fijian, lots of chilies.
Yeah.
That's what I was drawn to with Inca cuisine.
Yeah.
Fresh seafood, lots of chilies, lots of lemon, lots of lime. Everything's just a flavor bomb.
Fresh, bright flavors.
Yeah, exactly. And I got introduced to a lot of different ingredients that I've never heard of before, which I fell in love with straight away. Different kinds of chili. All I thought was there was only 2 kinds of chili, red and green. But when we went there was like more than 50 different varieties of chili.
How do you go getting those to Australia? Like, how do you are they available here?
So I work closely with Tony and Mark's.
Oh, yeah, great.
So Tony and Mark's does all my buying and hunting and everything for me. So it doesn't matter whatever I need, I just go straight to him, and then Tony and Mark's looks after the rest, and they get it for me.
That's pretty impressive, really.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong, it's an impressive supermarket, and I buy, whenever I go to Tony and Mark's, I always end up spending far more than I should on things that I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but I need it.
And that's, again, supporting locals, I guess. That's one of the best things that the Faye Group always have, because it's a family-owned place.
Yeah.
They always try and go for family-owned restaurants, family-owned suppliers and stuff as well.
Yeah.
And keep it within South Australia.
South Australia, we have such an abundance of amazing quality produce.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand why you would outsource,
Yeah.
but it's all right here. We have, and it tastes so much better when it hasn't gone as far. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I always think when, particularly with South Australian meat, lamb, if you eat lamb from Kangaroo Island and then you eat lamb from the supermarket, it doesn't taste the same.
No.
Like, we have nieces and nephews that live on Kangaroo Island, and when they come up to the mainland, if you buy them supermarket meat, they're like, it tastes wrong. I'm sorry. Yeah, you've got to buy the
Know
local.
what you can do.
You've got to buy the local stuff.
Let's dig into this one now.
Yeah, I'm going to let you go first.
Let's see what he put in here.
Yeah.
That looks really yum. Where is it? Chili roasted eggplant. Oh, sambal, tarasi, coconut and cashew. So this must be something close to his heart.
Yeah.
This, we'll ask him later. I think this is his grandma's recipe or something, probably.
Oh, fantastic. I absolutely adore eggplant. Somebody else in my life can't have eggplant, so I don't get to have it very often, so it's nice when I get to share it with other people. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so this, for those listening, this looks slow baked. I'm guessing there's some sort of fire roasting going on.
Yeah.
There's sambal, so we've got the spice there, and then a creamy sauce. It looks absolutely
I can
divine.
see Ben's got a little hibachi grill, the robata grill in there.
Oh, yes.
So I'm pretty sure he puts it all on a fresh charcoal.
And the smoke adds such a difference to eggplant as well. I feel like it's one of those things I can never nail properly, but I don't play with eggplant that often. Thank you. Oh, that's fantastic.
How's the spice and the sweetness balance?
Yeah, it's really still got a sweetness to it that I wasn't expecting. That is
And then the cashew miles it down again.
gorgeous. So, Japanese Peruvian cuisine, is there a point in history where those two cuisines came together? Like, how did that, or is that more of an invention?
I did some research, and even with working with Chef Nick Watt as well. So Chef Nick Watt's got 2 restaurants in Auckland as well, called Inca,
Yeah.
which do something similar, Japanese Peruvian dishes. But and then so what happened is I think it was in 1880s. Japanese settlers went over to Peru to work in the mines.
Right. Okay.
While during that time, it didn't last too long. I think the mine dried out after 80 years.
Yeah.
But within that time, there was a lot of going back and forth. And when Japanese were missing their ingredients, their miso, their soy sauce, and all these different chilies and stuff as well, they started bringing a lot of them in and out as well. And then they started enjoying what was in Peru already as well. So kind of mixing and matching and substituting this ingredient for that.
Yeah.
A entirely new cuisine was born, which is called the Nikkei cuisine. That's where the Peruvians started eating a lot more of the Japanese flavors as well, and the Japanese started really eating a lot more of the Peruvian.
Yeah.
So it kind of all melts together. And the best part is it actually works really well together.
Yeah.
Japanese love their clean flavors, their clean seafood flavors, and they don't want too much spice and stuff, whereas the Peruvian, on the other hand, they love their coriander, they love their spice, they love their chili.
Yeah.
But when you mix them at the right quantity, it's just amazing. It's just different.
What's your favourite dish on the menu at the moment?
In Turkey,
Yeah.
I think I would go with the tuna tataki.
Okay.
If I had to choose one.
Yeah. Gun to your head, you gotta.
Yeah.
It's hard to
Yeah.
choose.
The tuna tataki that I do at the moment is a beautiful bluefin tuna. We get it. We just seal it on the robata. So the robata burns. The one we got in Jasper Grill is a massive robata. It's about 1.2 meter long.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
So when that burns at around 600 degrees. It's hot.
Jesus.
The guy that works there doesn't have any hair on his arm.
So does he have any eyebrows?
And so we do a quick seal over it. So it takes only about 5 seconds aside.
Yeah.
So 5, and then chill it down straight away in ice water, and then we slice it down, and then put it in a sauce that I made myself. Actually, that was another creation that me and my head chef Ashley Nguyen, we were playing around with. So it's got passion fruit, aji amarillo, which is it's a Peruvian chili paste. So a yellow chili paste.
Okay.
It's got a little bit of fish sauce in there as well, which is coming from my Asian cooking side. So that, and we finish it off with lime juice and lemon juice mixed together. So half and half. And dilute it down with a little bit of water.
Yeah.
Just to get that balance right. And then we just, after you slice the tuna, put it on the plate, drizzle a little bit of sauce on top, fresh passion fruit seeds on top as well, some jalapeno, and we finish it off with a little bit of spring onion oil.
Yeah, okay.
And that on a little bit of cassava cracker is just mind-blowing.
Yeah.
The balance in this dish is just amazing.
Yeah. I am falling more and more in love with like the snacky side of the menu, you know?
Yeah.
Like the smaller plates. I'm one of those people, I want to taste everything, so I would always rather have lots and lots of small things to be able to taste all the flavours as opposed to, or dining in a big group so I get to try heaps of things. I would much prefer to do that than...
That is the way to eat out nowadays, to be honest.
Yeah, it really
and I'm
is.
glad that most restaurants are adapting to that way as well now, with going with sharing menus and family style meals, which is
it does make me laugh. I was talking to a friend about this just the other day, that so many places that you go to now, you sit down and they say, has someone explained the menu to you? And you say no.
back
And they
in the
say,
day,
well, it's sharing style.
yeah.
That's okay. I mean, yes, I understand that it's sharing style.
Yeah, but back in the days, you don't expect that, do you? Like,
No.
you'll be like, oh, I know how to order my steak.
Yeah.
Oh, I know how to get a burger. But,
Yeah, exactly.
But now, luckily, because of migration and because of people traveling out as well, everyone's starting to adapt to new flavors.
Yeah,
And that's-
there's such, and I do love looking at a menu and not knowing what that word is.
Yep.
Like, okay, cool, tell me
Yeah.
about it. And that is the key to having really great wait staff as well, who
Yes,
are
definitely.
just as passionate as you are about the dishes, to be able to share that passion with the person that's ordering it so that they're not scared off by something that they've never heard of before.
Yeah, definitely. Should I have some
Okay.
more? Is that too spicy for you?
No, it's great.
Yeah.
Just trying not to be too sweaty on the the video.
It's got a bit of a heat to it.
Oh my God, and this weather at the moment in Adelaide
Yeah.
is just killing me. I imagine that's quite something in the kitchen.
Oh,
It being hot in there, but you're used to that.
A bit hotter, but yeah.
So you've got Tonki, you've also got Momoda.
Yes.
Explain the difference between the two of them to me.
So I'll start with Momoda first, because Momoda was one of my first babies.
Yeah.
Momoda was created, like I've had the idea for Momoda all the time, but because as chefs, when we finish work, we always finish late, and we'd love to go out. We like to drink 1 or 2 or 3.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I might be familiar with
Yeah.
that concept.
So, and when we finish work around 11 p.m., there's hardly anything open in Adelaide. And the original concept from the motor was supposed to be, I really want to be able to, even that's the plan in summer, we want to be able to open till midnight or till 1 o'clock, even
Perfect.
leave the kitchen open as well.
Yeah.
But at the moment, because of staff shortages, it's very hard to do that. So the idea was to have a fun menu, a short, simple, small menu, but with full of flavor, and then people can just come in and order a couple of different dishes, just like we said. You don't have to commit to one burger and chips and just sit there and eat it. You can spend the same amount of money and have 7 different items, and then like share it with 2 people or 3 people.
Yeah.
And you still end up paying only $30-40 a head.
Yeah, brilliant.
Right. And at the same time, you can try different cocktails, different soju. So I do all my own infused sojus as well.
Okay, so soju, Korean spirit,
Korean rice wine, yeah.
can absolutely fuck you up if you drink too much of it.
Yes. Get ready for a bad headache the next day.
Yeah, okay. So how did you learn soju distilling?
So I don't distill it myself.
Oh, yeah.
I'll need a license for that.
Yeah, okay.
That would help. But so I learned infusing sojus when I was working at Masu and working with a lot of Korean chefs. And so that's what we used to do. When we finished late night, we used to go to one of the Korean chef's house, and then she's got all these beautiful soju, pomegranate, grapefruit, coffee, lemon, lime, citrus, whatever, all different sojus marinated. And because it's such a cheap drink, you can buy a liter of soju for $7-8.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. But they taste horrible on its own.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure you do a little bit of sugar, you have to put a little bit of spice, you have to kind of make it to your palate.
Yeah, and balance that out.
And balance that up so you can actually sip it on ice and create it like a cocktail pretty much.
Yeah, okay.
And then you might have to dilute it because sometimes sojus go up to like 20-30% as well. So that becomes like a pure alcohol.
Yeah.
So I normally dilute mine down back to around 12.5 to 13%.
Yeah, cool.
And then infuse it with lots of fruit. So at the moment, I think I've got 10 different flavors in Mamoda.
Yeah.
And the whole idea of Mamoda was just to come in, order a flight of sojus. You can get like 3 or 4 soju flights at once, and then maybe play a game with your friends. Oh, what flavor do you reckon this is? What's this?
Yeah, okay.
While you're having all this different food as well. So everything on the menu also is kind of balanced out. That goes really well with the. So let's say if you're having a Tasmanian salmon, I would suggest go with the mango soju with it. The sweetness of the mango would cut off all the fattiness from the salmon and the chili that's marinated in and the smoky flavor.
Yeah.
If you're going with the pork ribs, you go with the green apple and plum soju that I infuse myself. The green apple, obviously, green apple, pork, they always go together.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
It cuts it down straight away. Again, that's beautiful flavors mixing it together. If you're at the end of your meal and you're having a panna cotta, so I've got a Vietnamese coffee and condensed milk panna cotta.
You are saying all the right things. I need to come try that.
Oh, you have to. And then I've got a coffee soju that goes with that as well. If you don't feel like any desserts, you just want to have affogato, let's say at the end of the night, most people, they don't want to eat anything.
Yeah.
I would make the affogato with the coffee soju and a vanilla bean ice cream.
Yeah, perfect.
And then so mix and match, and it will be something different. It won't be the same affogato that you have anywhere else because this soju is made by me.
Yeah.
It's to my flavors and something that will finish your night after a big meal in the right way.
Yeah. That sounds so exciting. There's, nothing like that on the Adelaide scene. Well, I might be wrong, but I haven't heard of anything like that on the Adelaide scene at the moment. So that's, And is the flight always different? Like, do people pick and choose, or do you say to the bartender?
We let them choose.
Yeah, okay.
We've got our own flight, so you can say our bartender selection.
Yeah.
And obviously the bartender will give you his favorites.
Yeah.
So everyone's got their own favorites. Some like it a bit more sweeter, some want it a bit more berry flavors, or someone. So they do that one. But if you want to pick and choose, you can choose whatever you want as well.
Yeah, cool.
And it's only, I think, $15 for a flight. So, and it's a 30 ml drink, so you can mix and match and do whatever, play with friends. So you get 3, I get 3, someone else gets 3.
Yeah.
We can still try
each
have
other's flavors. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, no, definitely need to come down and give that one a whirl. And the menu is Asian flavors, but no particular cuisine?
No particular cuisine. So Mamoda at first was, the menu I designed was just throughout my travels.
Yeah.
So I've been to Thailand, I've been to Korea, I've been to Japan, I've traveled through Laos, Cambodia, I've been throughout China. So it's pretty much a little bit of everything that I learned over the years through my travels. So
Yeah.
my motor was just designed, just everything to do what I cook at home,
Yeah.
what I normally cook at home, the flavors that I like.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to showcase to the Adelaide crowd.
Yeah.
That hey, you don't have to commit to, oh, this is a Thai restaurant, this is an Indian restaurant. You can get a little bit of all the flavors different in there.
I think that's the way of the cuisine now, and it's the way of Australia now. Like everything is so multicultural that
Yeah.
you want to see that on a menu. You want to see the best of all the worlds.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, how did you end up falling in with the Fiji group then?
After COVID, actually, that happened.
Yeah.
They had a job going, and I applied for the job.
Okay.
And came in, sat down with one of the directors, Trent Fay, and then he interviewed me, asked me what I was after. I explained to him I was just looking for exec chef job at the moment, and I think during the interview we hit it off straight away, and we were talking the same language. He had a vision for the group. I had the same vision as well, what I wanted to do next.
Yeah.
And it was just, I think our interview lasted like an hour.
Yeah.
We were just talking about travels and everything else, and then we knew we had the same likes and the same dislikes and stuff.
Yeah.
And then he offered me the job, and I started the job the next week, I think, or next 2 weeks time or something. Yeah.
Yeah, they. I feel like, especially since you've come on board, the group has really taken a turn in direction. You know, they are a pub family. They've always been publicans, and it's really nice to see the pubs and hotels taking food to that next level. Like, just because it's a pub doesn't mean that that's not the experience that people want to have. They still want an elevated experience, and I think it seems the menus you're designing and the spaces as well are so elevated for Adelaide. Like, Tonki sitting on the water there is absolutely gorgeous. That must be like the highlight of your day when you get to go down there.
That was the best day of my life when the face said, oh, okay, let's go ahead and do Tonki. I presented them with a couple of different ideas for the restaurant space.
Yeah.
And then that was one of the best ones that they chose, and I was like, fingers crossed they choose this as well, because we were either going to go full Japanese, or we could have gone full Chinese, or we could have gone in between.
Yeah.
And I was just so happy that they decided to go with that theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's looking gorgeous. I need to get down there.
Come down tonight. I'm on the pass today. we might be able to squeeze you in into one of the booth tables.
I hear that you're damn busy, so you might not be able to squeeze me in.
Nah, I'll create a table in the chef's table. You're on the pass. If you don't mind sitting on the stool, it'll be fine.
I don't mind sitting in the kitchen.
It might be a little bit hot. The robata is gonna be cranking.
Oh man, yeah. Okay, so Krish, it is time to fire on the Fast Five.
Yep. Let's go.
One word or one sentence, but I have a habit of interrupting, so it might be my fault that if you don't get them out in one word or one sentence.
Okay.
So what do you cook when no one's watching?
I call it one pot.
Yep.
Everything in one pot because I hate doing dishes. And that's it.
Does it matter what it is? It's just
whatever's in the cabinet, I guess. Whatever's in the fridge, whatever's in the freezer.
Yeah.
One pot.
Quick, one pot, dirty,
That's it,
do it. Okay. What's your go-to cookbook?
Go-to cookbook. I've got just so many.
Yeah.
So many. I'm trying to think which one. I would say I do love Thai food. So I think David Thompson's cookbooks are my go-to. There's no one in particular that I like. I like all of them.
Yeah.
So all his Thai cookbooks.
What is the most overrated ingredient or dish that you're seeing on menus at the moment?
Ooh, overrated. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to think. What am I overusing?
Yeah.
I'm just drawn towards my own menus now. Let me see. Overrated. Truffle, I'd say probably.
Yeah.
Truffle. Everyone's trying to use truffle. Even one of my dishes, I've got a kingfish ceviche with black truffle on it, which is pretty damn good. But I don't know.
Okay. It is everywhere.
Can I get immunity on this one? Pass.
Pass. Time out.
Pass. Yeah.
What was the first dish you learned to cook?
Ooh, first dish. Boil.
Boil.
Like I said, boil. Everything boiled. That's what I was doing in Fiji. So that's how we like to eat everything. Like if we get a whole fish, we'll clean it up. We just put it in water, salt, boil it and add all the ingredients to it. Raw garlic, raw chili, raw flavors.
Yeah, okay.
Lots of lemon juice in there and have it like a soup.
Yeah, like a broth
So
situation.
that's all we used to do.
Okay.
Back home. Even if you're cooking lamb, same thing again. Just boil it, salt, pepper, lots of garlic, lots of chili, lots of onion, lemon juice, lime juice, lots of coriander. That's it. It's
Yeah.
done.
Okay. Cool. And who has been the most influential chef in your life?
I think my main mentor, it would be Chef Darren Johnson. So he was my executive chef back in Masu.
Yeah.
Masu by Nick Watt. So he was the guy who made me fall in love with Japanese food and infusions and using different ingredients and stuff. So hats off to him. I talk to that guy almost once every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
He's one of my good friends now as well, and we relay ideas to each other as well. If I'm stuck with something, I call him anytime, and he picks up every time.
Yeah,
which is good.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Do you still that is the fast five?
Yeah.
But do you still speak to King Abdullah?
No, not
No.
personally, no.
I feel like he probably has
We
a lot
used to
going
text before, but not anymore.
a lot going on there at the
Yeah.
moment. So yeah. Thank you for coming out to eat with me.
Thank you for having me here.
It's been fun.
Beautiful. Thank you very much.
Well, what an episode and what a meal. Let me tell you, when those cameras stopped rolling, we dove into the dessert menu. We tried everything and it was honestly exceptional. Really do recommend that you get yourselves down to Paper Tiger on Rundle Street if you haven't already. Chef Ben is outstanding with what he's doing there, and the chef's tasting menu was really beautiful food, a really great celebration of Asian cuisine. While you're at it, you really need to book yourself into Tunki or Momota or both to go visit Krish. Those are stunning venues that he has poured time, effort and energy into, and it's really showing the results at the moment for South Australia. Also, if you are listening to this at the time of the release, you still have plenty of time to book in for the 2 masterclasses that Krish is hosting with Tasting Australia. That's coming up in May in South Australia. One of the events is at Tunki, of course, where you will have a 5-course meal, but also get to practice some of the beautiful techniques that he does there and work closely with the chefs. You'll get a tour through the grounds. It will be an incredible experience. There's also an experience at Momota, of course, where you can do a dumpling making masterclass with his experts there and also be guided through a beautiful several course meal, all with matched food and wine. I highly recommend you book your tickets for that. They likely will sell out. As you'll hear me mention repeatedly, please rate, review, subscribe, follow along to this podcast. We are a baby podcast. We are trying to grow, and it really helps promote everything that I'm trying to achieve here. For all the recommendations that were mentioned today, that's locations, dishes, cookbooks, please come along to eatwithpod.com, or you can follow us on socials at eatwithpod. I have been your host, Hannah Pendlebury. My guest today was Chef Krish Dutt from Tunki and Momota restaurants. Our restaurant location was Paper Tiger on Rundle Street. The video recording was by Luke Jamison. The video processing and sound processing was by Matrix Publishing. Our intro and our outro music was by the talented Lobu Music. And that's it. That's all. Go forth. Stuff your face.